village of Sandringham in Norfolk was named in the Domesday Book as St. Dursingham. By 1862, when Queen Victoria purchased the property, the name had evolved. And its purpose to the royal family's country getaway every December.
Sandringham has been the centre of the royal Christmas, both last century and this century. That's where they go. That's the focus of the royal Christmas.
And for Queen Elizabeth, Sandringham was especially significant.
The Queen went to Sandringham on the royal train, and she would stay into early February because her father died there in early February in 1952, and she always wants to be at Sandringham to commemorate that moment of great sadness.
Included in the Queen's duties inherited by the King is approving the decorations of all the royal residences. At Windsor Castle, a fir tree goes up weeks before the big day.
The tree comes from the estate, and it is decorated in much the same way as people throughout the United Kingdom decorate their trees. They've got the baubles, the tinsel, the coloured lights.
Decorated fir trees have been a festive feature in Windsor for over 200 years. But King Charles has his great-great-great-grandmother, Queen Victoria, to thank for making them part of everyone's Christmas.
The Christmas tree tradition was popularised by Queen Victoria and Prince Albert almost entirely because of an article in the Illustrated London News in 1848. It was accompanied by a picture showing them and their 5 eldest children around a Christmas tree, and the public loved it, thought, great idea. And on it went from there.
While traditions endure at Sandringham, the guests will find some changes to the estate when they arrive for Christmas, as the new king has been making his mark on the Winter Royal Palace.
Well, Charles is doing a lot of work at Sandringham at the moment, and like any property that's had older tenants in it for a long period of time, it needs it. There is a lift that goes between floors inside Sandringham, which breaks down every time someone gets in it, and the Queen was forever getting stuck between floors, and some flunky had to come along and crack the doors open and get her out.
The most visible changes are on the historic grounds and gardens of Sandringham, where the king has been addressing a very modern problem.
One of Charles's greatest passions is gardening and horticulture. What's very important to him is increasing biodiversity, and so he felt that the lawn at Sandringham, which is this marvellous great big lawn, but it wasn't really standing up to the weather changes, and there could be more biodiversity for different types of insects and different types of plants.
Over 5 months, 1 acre of the West Lawn was transformed into a topiary garden and opened in summer 2023.
And what he's decided to do is to clear that space out and have 10,000 plants there, all of them different, about 5,000 new and about 5,000 different herbaceous perennials and so on, which would be pollinators, which provide homes for lots of different ecosystems and be far more biodiverse than a lawn can ever be, and also restore a garden that he remembers being at Sandringham from his childhood.
Charles's new garden has been open to the public, and now at Christmas the royals can enjoy it privately as well.
The gardens may have enjoyed a majestic makeover, but the guests for Christmas all need somewhere to stay.
One has to remember about Sandringham, it's not just one house. It is a whole estate, and the royals will stay at various houses and cottages on the estate.
On the Sandringham estate is a lovely 5-bedroomed oak-beamed farmhouse called Wood Farm, and it's a place where most of us would consider a mansion if we were to live in it. But for the royals, it's just a bit of overspill. It's where Prince Philip lived in his last days.
It's also been a sort of handy offshoot for errant royals or errant ex-royals who wanted to be near their family at Christmas time. Sarah Ferguson, to name but one.
All rooms must be ready and fit for a king and his extended family in time for royal arrivals at Sandringham on Christmas Eve.
Even though it's a relaxed family do, there is still protocol. This is the royal family we're talking about here, essentially a military family, so everything has to be done on time.
And the first order of the day is decorating the enormous Christmas trees.
The tree is felled in the Sandringham wood, so it's a great big tree, not a little one that we might have on a bookshelf. It's beautifully done, of course.
And by all accounts, the Duke of Edinburgh insisted in his true macho style that he was the one to place the star at the top of the tree.
And of course, Queen Victoria's glass angels take pride of place and are very important to the royal family because, of course, they're inherited and traditional.
Another tradition of Queen Victoria is still upheld to this day. One which originates from her German husband, Albert.
The Germans have something called Heiligabend Bescherung, which is the giving of gifts on Holy Evening. So Holy Evening is Christmas Eve, and so what the Germans do and what the royal family do, they hand out individually their gifts on Christmas Eve, and that is something specifically imported from Germany. Heiligabend Bescherung. Queen Victoria wrote, "This evening we had Bescherung. It was lovely," in her diary.
But the style of today's gifts is very different to those during Victoria's reign.
The rule really is the jokier the better. The presents are laid out on trestle tables covered in white linen cloths with their nameplates by each present. And I think they compete to outdo each other in terms of the jokes.
The Queen once reportedly got a present of Big Mouth Billy Bass, the singing fish that sang "Don't Worry, Be Happy."
One year, Princess Anne gave Charles a white leather Lucy.
Another year, once she got a washing up apron and said, "Oh, it is just what we wanted."
Harry would give William a comb. Now, William doesn't have much hair, so he wouldn't have much use for a comb.
One year, Prince Philip was given a light-up pepper mill. I imagine it was very handy for those dusk barbecues at Balmoral in the summer.
William gave his grandfather soaps in the shape of gumboots.
The cheap and tacky theme has sometimes taken new guests by surprise.
Princess Diana was obviously not briefed of this little quirk of the royals, and she gave Princess Anne a cashmere jumper, thinking that was a suitable present for her sister-in-law. And in exchange, she received a loo roll holder. I think she got it the following year when she gave Fergie a bath mat in leopard print.